my jellyfitters. My name is Jim, and this is your Daily Brogue for the 23rd of May, 2026. So, still guessing about that game that I lost. I lost a bunch of pages. I lost something like 16 of 19 pages that I did last weekend. Now it's this weekend. I'm not doing anything with that. I'm just talking to you. But there are things that I'm thinking about that wouldn't work. So let's remember the reason why I did it was I was thinking about what I could do online. If you're playing role playing games online, how could you sort of take some of the more crunchy stuff and some of the things that people tend to do online and improve on them marginally? Right? That was my idea. And one was I sort of put some stuff together as far as I have incendiary darts. No reason to use incendiary darts here. Um, so I had some things. Detect magic already. Banded mail is bad, so we'll call E Bands of Doom or something like that. Drop E. Call I constricting. The ever constricting story. It's not a great title, but instead of the never ending story, yes. And we don't need K. Already have the Guardian Charm. Did some good stuff with the Guardian Charm last time. Ooh, that is good and bad, right? So all we have to do is make our way back up to that next level, to the original level that I had just been on. This feels like a secret door. No, okay. So, like I said, I incorporated some stuff that you can do, sort of an impulse system with, um, have 10 segments per round. Different actions take a certain number of segments. Moving one hex, I said, one square would take 5 rounds, let's say, or 5 segments. And then uh, slicing at somebody with your sword would take 10, with an average sword, with a long sword. And then maybe your dagger would take 6 segments. And other things less and more, right? So if you were to have something like the rapier from this thing, that would also have maybe 6 segments. Let's try to get over here somehow. There we go. Because we know we have something interesting over here. And maybe, no, it's staff. It's a staff room. Tunneling for Conjuration 3. Tunneling I could really use last. And 3 is sort of average. Let's do the current tunneling 4. Okay. I do not, in fact, have anything that needs to be identified. Use identified. No weapons, at least. The other ones can wait till I go to depth 4. Another detect magic. So that was one of the big rule things. The other one was rolling 3 dice rather than how's Monkey doing? Monkey will be fine, but I did that and I gave him some blood work anyway. Um, Amber potion is good, so we will use both of those. Which means we can use the chainmail. This is a little bit scary. And again, right, the idea is to make something that works well with the style of play that I see people playing role-playing games online with, so they're tabletop role-playing games. Okay, I have the towing, right? There's just nothing there. Screw it. Um, and yeah, the second of the things that I did that has a reasonable chance of doing anything is just using D6, 3D6 instead of the D20 to resolve problems, to resolve random stuff. And the third is I chose S, the risk of, okay. So my normal way of doing these guys, this kind of goblin warren, is to try to clear out as much behind me as possible and then hit the goblin warren. Actually, this staff tunneling might be really useful. Let's see. It looks like the goal is way down here. Because I don't have a lot of... Oh, this is not a good spot for this. That won't work out as well as I would like. I'd have to come this way as the most beneficial direction in life, and visibility is good. Let's see. Tunneling down. The thing is that in these goblin warrens, there's often stuff that you can use. So let's drop this. We shouldn't have been running around with that. Lots of incendiary darts. So the thing is I'm getting close to a place where I just have to commit. Even if I don't want to. Anyway, so I've been making that. So I didn't tell. So then criticals are number of sixes, fumbles number of ones, and critical and fumble at the same time. That's where you cut somebody's head off, but then you take a tumble, right? Because you felt you did a little too much follow through or something like that. So that's a little bit of emergent storytelling, as they say. I guess it would give a little bit more of a Rashomon feel to the combat, right? So that would be interesting. Okay, we are depth 6. Okay, equip. Apply E enchanting. We're taking 4x by E2. Apply G. Identify. Totally. Did I lose my monkey? No. Monkey's just behind me in some way, I think. Check my armor. Check my weapon. Okay, so what was it? So anyways, when I was building this, rings? Ring? Has to be some way in there. Probably that one there. River is not in good shape. I don't know. I have to go all the way down and around. Okay, so putting that together, I also wanted to add in something about classes. So I would also put together some classes, some standard everyday classes. Um, Basically, I had a fighter, a magic user, a thief, a ranger, and a priesty thing. So I don't want to call them a priest because they're not really a priest, right? I want somebody to make it certain that the player character version, whatever it is a special kind of thing. He's not more or less the kind of thing that you get with a parish priest or something like that. It's a different kind of thing. He's called a militant. Um, Searching through Catholic names for things. So the militant orders, right? And the general idea is that the militant is sort of like a James Bond spy guy or a church. Darkness is dripping death to life. Okay, so I can. So I felt that would be sufficient too. give the idea of what the priest should be, what you're looking at, right? Um, I do think the I do think that making the priest explicitly tied to a broken the unknown. I probably want to get it. Light. Need it right now. We'll put it on just in case it's cursed. So trying to make it explicit that this is not a parish priest, this is somebody very different in the church hierarchy, right? How the priest works has to be much different from the dude who's traveling around doing strange things with strange people. You're right, dude. Right, it makes a little bit more sense because why would somebody who's dedicated to a god be moving around doing something like this? The average priest should be doing something sort of holy rather than something a little sketchy, like running around dungeons and stuff like that. Speed and fire immunity. basically each one of those 5 goes with one of the 5 characteristics, right? Rather than +3 movable awareness, advanced dungeon guide. Oh, the Scarlet Potion. Oh my, one not bad one. So that was the basic idea. The general idea also moves through for like spells. So spells would also have the advantages and things like that. Something that DCC does is that um, they have the spell tables, right? So you get better results on spell tables. That will give you a much higher thing. Now, we also sort of do something with the priests like they do with the ranger in D&D. So in ranger in D&D, they have that who is your ranger. The ranger has sort of like a special enemy, right? He gets bonuses against. So we'd like to do the same thing with Discord, healing, conjuration. Okay, level 5e. Not going to make it. Okay. So we also want to give the. I should use that other enchanting to do that instead. Rather than use testing the potion. But anyways, we want to give the beast a sort of kind of enemy, and that's what he turns. So we have maybe one kind of priest that's against undead, turning the undead, turning Dracula, holding Dracula at bay with his holy symbol. And then you have another one that's against demons, right? And so he could keep demons at bay, but not undead, right? And this would be part of this particular uh, cleric's religion. And in doing so, and this being so, you can use this as part of your design for different milestones for the characters and things like that. Okay, so that's more or less what I was thinking of as far as a RPG.